The immigration process when it comes to sponsoring a spouse is very much dependent on the cooperation of the U.S. citizen or permanent resident spouse. The most immediate consequence to your spouse not going to the green card interview is that if you show up without your spouse, this is going to raise a lot of questions for the immigration officer as to where your spouse is and whether you are really in a real marriage, not just a legal one, but a bona fide relationship. The unfortunate consequence if your spouse does not show up is a denial of your immigrant visa and your green card case. You can either try to buy time or explain the reason for why your spouse didn't show, whether they were sick or couldn't arrive because of a work obligation or other temporary reason. But if your spouse is just not cooperating and is not going to show up anytime in the future, even if the interviewer reschedules the appointment, then showing up to interview by yourself is going to result in a denial of your green card case anyways. If you get advance notice that your spouse is not going to be able to attend the interview, you should be able to reschedule the interview at least one time. This can buy you anywhere from 15 days in some district offices to 60 days to even 90 days in the larger offices, depending on their current workload until you get a rescheduled interview. Some district offices allow you to apply for a rescheduled interview without giving a specific reason or providing evidence as to why the two of you cannot attend together. But other district offices request that evidence from the beginning, so if you're just trying to buy time, be careful. If you don't have a legitimate reason, it could be very difficult to reschedule that interview. So what happens to your case if you just don't show up at the interview at all because you don't think your spouse is going to show up? Then your case is going to be denied for what CIS calls abandonment reasons, that you abandon your petition because you didn't show up for the interview. It is always wise to consult an immigration attorney about what your options are if you think that your spouse is never going to show up or cooperate fully in your case. An immigration attorney may be able to buy you time to help you figure out whether another application may work in your favor. Know that if you approach the same lawyer who represented you both in the immigrant visa based on your marriage and the adjustment or green card petition, anything you tell that lawyer is not necessarily confidential to your spouse. That lawyer represented both of you, and you usually waive that confidentiality when you first started the case. If that lawyer believes that you're going to do something that will harm the interests of the other spouse, then your lawyer has to tell the other spouse. So if you think there's no way that your spouse is going to cooperate in going to your green card interview, it is wise to consult with an attorney who has not represented you both in the past. So this way your spouse doesn't know or need to know what other immigration options you are considering. That new lawyer may be able to save your existing green card application that is attached to the immigrant visa based on your spouse's sponsorship and substitute a different type of immigrant visa petition to keep your adjustment or green card case going with CIS. That way there's no lapse in your ability to work or ability to travel outside the United States, if possible, and you keep your work permit and you keep your advance parole. I am an expert in complex family-based immigration cases and have a 98% approval rate for the past 12 years. I am a nationally published immigration author and frequent public speaker on immigration topics. I regularly train other immigration lawyers on complicated marriage and family immigration cases for the American Immigration Lawyers Association, Federal Bar Association, and National Legal Education Providers. I represent clients all over the U.S., traveling to immigration interviews and deportation proceedings. Visit our website, humanrightsattorney.com, for more in-depth information and articles on complex family immigration issues.